At Ventum Financial, we believe that sharing another person's story is a privilege. The people inspiring and activating others, role modeling what's possible, solving problems today, and building for a better tomorrow. Who is relevant is subjective, but what if we turn the dial? Leaning into the courageous leaders who quietly drive positive change. This is Relevant, where leaders, creators, and change makers share the ideas shaping business, culture, and the world, one conversation at a time.
I'm here with Daniel Stoppel, the CEO of NectAir. Welcome to Relevant.
Thanks. Thanks for having me, and I'm excited to be here.
So tell me about NectAir.
NectAir is a new disruptive air taxi service based right here in the GTA. We fly our clients to large major airports as well as small regional airports so we can get them closer to where they're actually going and ending up saving them a ton of time. And, NectAir is very different from what exists in the current private charter market. So right now you've got, these very elite jets, which are very cost prohibitive and not for everyone. Mm-hmm. And then you have commercial travel, which we all know what that's like. NectAir is somewhere in between. So we're giving that private service without needing to be a billionaire to fly private.
It's like a whole middle market.
It's a whole new market that we've built up and we're continuing to serve.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I'd love to show you one of our aircraft. Do you want to come check it out in the hangar?
Let's do it.
All right, come on.
So what's the biggest misconception about private aviation?
I mean, the biggest misconception is that you have to be a billionaire to fly.
Mm.
And, with NectAir, we've completely changed the landscape. With the type of aircraft we're doing, the use of technology to run our business, we're able to actually offer the market a price that has never existed before. Mm. And also where we're able to take people has never existed before. Because we're not using large jets, we can fly into more locations and actually get you closer to where you're going. Another big misconception is that it takes the same amount of time to go to a private jet or a private aircraft, but actually you just show up a few minutes before your flight.
Right.
The time saving is night and day. You show up a few minutes before, we take you to where you're going, you walk off the plane when you're there. That's it.
So when your customers are thinking about NectAir, are they convenience-based customers or are they literally ROI customers in terms of I can save 2 hours on each end and I'm traveling, 3 times a month, and so this is how much time I'm getting back?
I'd say it's a bit of both. We do have the customers that, look at time as their most valuable asset, and the time saving is everything for them. In other situations, we have customers that are flying 3 or 4 of their team to a location. When you start factoring in the costs of the commercial ticket, then the cost of hotels and meals for an overnight trip, which didn't actually need to be an overnight trip.
Right.
You start doing the math and divide the NectAir costs on a per person basis, and we can actually save businesses money.
So how did you get to this? Like, what did you see that wasn't there?
Yeah, so my co-founder Tony and I, we were talking and saw this white space in the market that didn't really exist. No one was serving the business traveler who's going regularly, who's flying into tough to reach locations. I mean, for instance, picture trying to get to Cincinnati and you live in Oshawa. You've got to commute from all the way Oshawa, all the way to Pearson, maybe even do a connecting flight depending on the schedule. And you end up spending 2 days traveling to go for a few hour meeting. Right. We've tailored our service for that customer.
Incredible. Nice. And when you think about scaling this business, what are the challenges in scaling? Is it going to be access to talent, pilots? Is it the fleet? Is it the planes?
Yeah, it's a bit of everything, but scale actually helps all logistics businesses. Okay. So when we get more planes and more routes, and as we have more clients flying, we actually get more efficient in our operations, and we're actually able to bring our costs down.
So that solves the problem. It
does solve the problem. Yeah, with logistics, with air travel, it does solve the problem, and also create some new, not problems, but challenges for us to overcome.
And so how are people hearing about NectAir now? How are you reaching your customers?
Yeah, that's a great question. We've been pretty quiet up until this point. We launched in late 2025. And we're, working with great partners like yourself. We're, on digital marketing. I'm sure a lot of you have seen the ads. And, we're just kind of getting our name out there into the strategic locations where we can actually target certain businesses that actually have that travel need and have a tough time traveling today.
So what's changed over the last decade, let's say, that's made this a possibility?
Yeah, a lot has changed actually. And one, there's been a surge in demand in travel. Since the pandemic, kind of everything has been different. And with that, the main commercial networks that existed started to break down even more than they were before. Travel's gotten more painful. There's more friction. We all know that experience.
For sure.
And so it's become a bigger problem. And at the same time, there's been a lot of advances in technology in the aircraft that we're using, technology and how we're actually building our company from a back-end point of view. And that allows us to create this new offering and come in at a price point that doesn't exist today.
Interesting. We're seeing, in our view, the definition of luxury changing. It was historically about things and stuff and watches and cars. And I mean, I'm sure all of that stuff still matters, but more and more it's about experiences and access. And so it makes complete sense to me that something like NectAir would suddenly kind of see a larger kind of demand profile. Tell me what it's like to actually fly with NectAir. Like, say, I'm a Cincinnati Bengals fan.
Okay.
And if I wanted to go to Cincinnati to see a game, which I have done, it is a pain. Getting there, you're in the night before, you can't get out the day of. So you're going in Saturday night, you're flying home Monday morning.
It's essentially a 3-day
Yeah,
trip.
it turns into a whole 3-day thing. So if I was going to use NectAir for that, what does that look like?
Yeah, so we can save you a ton of time. And that's really, like you were saying about the experiences, it's all about time when you're flying with NectAir, and it is an experience. So in your use case scenario, we could fly you in the morning of the game, get you early there. If you want to go to the the tailgate before, that's no problem. As soon as the game is done, you get back out to the closest airport, and it doesn't have to be a major airport. There's a lot of regional airports that we service and can get you even closer to us, and then we'll fly you back home that same day. And when you fly NectAir, it's not like flying the commercial guys. With NectAir, we ask you to show up 10 minutes before your flight. There's no security, there's no lines, there's no chaos, there's no headaches and delays that you experience with the large commercial airports. And then when you land here, you actually just walk off the plane, get into your car that's waiting for you, take you back to your house. So it's a completely different experience. And the time saving is actually massive. Like you said, in your scenario, it's a multi-day time saving. And then you factor in the hotels, meals, and all that extra kind of wasted time that you spent traveling or waiting to travel. We give you that time back.
So I'm curious, obviously if you've got your own plane, you're socialized into this, but for the people that are using your service, how many actually show up 10 minutes ahead of time? Or are they still showing up an hour ahead of time because they think they're going to miss their flight or something?
Yeah, good question. So our customers that have flown with us multiple times are now showing up even more like 5 minutes before because they know the drill.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes our first time flyers show up, maybe 20, 30 minutes before, but really you just show up. Our pilots are waiting to greet you. Everything's taken care of ahead of time. If you're flying to the US, we're sending all that documentation from a customs clearance point of view ahead of time. So everything's done for you. And you can really just show up, get on the plane and go.
So what is that customs experience for people that haven't gone private before?
Yeah.
Like you land in Cincinnati, you're Teterboro, let's say.
Yep.
What is actually the exit experience like?
Yeah. So customs knows you're coming. We've sent them all your documents ahead of time. They either sometimes pop their head in the plane. You either walk off the plane and go they're kind of waiting for you right there because they know when you're arriving. They just check that it's you on the plane, and then your car is waiting for you to go into the city.
Cars right at the plane, basically. Yeah. That's incredible.
Yeah. And, time has been something that, our society has been trying to optimize for the ages, really. And if you think about the last few big disruptions, whether it's in retail with Amazon, saving you time how you shop, whether it's groceries, meal prep. Basically, every big advancement that we've had has been all surrounding time and giving you more time back for yourself and for your family. And that's what we're doing at NectAir as well. We're trying to change the way travel is and tell you that it doesn't have to be such a pain and it doesn't have to waste a whole day traveling just to get somewhere.
So range. So with the type of aircraft that you're flying, what would how should people think about the maximum range possible?
So air taxi is built for more of that kind of regional flight time. So we kind of say hovering around the 2.5 hour mark is kind of our range. But to be honest, we've flown people, all the way down to Florida. So it really kind of depends on the customer and where they want to go. We have a new aircraft that's actually a larger 6-seater, a lot more cargo capacity, and that aircraft is a PC-12, and we're able to kind of fly further with that, and it's more comfortable for those longer flights.
That's a good point. I should have asked that actually. So the PC-12, 6 passengers?
Yeah.
And then kind of the Piper would be...
M700 and M600 is a max of 4.
Max of 4.
Yeah, comfortably around 3 or 4 depending on...
With some luggage, cargo capacity?
Small like carry-on suitcases can fit in the back.
So our Vent in Black program, the members are very focused on experiences, enhanced, special, unique experiences. So with NectAir, tell me about what that experience might feel like and look like for any user.
Yeah, it's a completely different experience that you've ever known flying in the commercial networks. So our concierge team works with you to help you book the flight. You can look on our website and our booking app and kind of see everything you need to see. And then our concierge takes over and can organize everything for you from point A all the way to your final destination. So if you need a car service to pick you up, to take you to the airport. When you're here, our pilots meet you, and we only ask that you show up 10 minutes before your flight. Everything's taken care of for you ahead of time. And when you're on the plane, we do have Wi-Fi, so you're able to continue to, be connected in the sky. You can work and you do whatever you need to do. It's your private plane. We provide, some light snacks and some other kind of gifts on the aircraft. And we have 2 types of aircraft actually. So depending on your party size, we either have the M700 or M600, which can seat up to 4 passengers, depending on their, profile. Our PC-12, which is our brand new aircraft that we've added to the fleet, which we're really excited about, that can hold up to 6 passengers and a ton of luggage and cargo capacity. So I think, a bigger business team traveling, it gets us into the leisure world as well.
Like golf clubs,
stuff like that. No
Okay.
problem. Yeah. So it's a completely, so that's kind of our next direction where we're going, where we want to have that bigger capacity aircraft. And then, when you land, our pilots let you know that we're landing, and when you do land, you walk off the plane. Your stuff is taken off the plane for you, and we can have a car service waiting for you right beside the plane. So you get into that car and go exactly, you're not wasting any time in between.
Yeah,
just go straight out where you're going.
So you've used this term air taxi.
Yep.
And I looked that up actually coming into this, and you see a lot of these kind of VTOL, these vertical takeoff and landing vehicles. Obviously, that's not what's behind us. So maybe talk more about kind of air taxi itself, and then kind of where you see, is that actually the future of this eventually, or how do you think about that?
Yeah, it's a great question. So we are pioneering air taxi from an operational brand, with our current service, with our current fleet. But we are fleet, aircraft agnostic. So we are preparing everything to onboard electric aircraft. And electric aircraft are coming in 2 waves. There's conventional takeoff and landing, so using the traditional, using the runways that we have today at airports, but also vertical takeoff and landing, so VTOL at heliports or vertiports, what they're going to be called. And so we're gearing up for both, and it's going to be a big disruption to what we know today. The regulation is still kind of coming, and we'll be seeing these flying in the air in the next couple of years. But everything we're building today is to get ready for that electric air taxi. And what it means from a consumer point of view is actually quite important. With electric aviation, variable costs come down. We all see what's happening with fuel today. And not only does it come down for the operators, but we're able to pass that on to the end customer. So it's going to completely change the way we think about taking a short air taxi flight.
And is the maintenance profile different, or do we know enough yet to know if the maintenance profile is
No,
different?
great question. It is very different.
Okay.
From a maintenance point of view, they're a lot a lot simpler than what we're using today. It's fewer moving parts. There's more redundancy, so they're actually safer as well. And so it's a big positive shift that we're big supporters of. And the network and infrastructure has to kind of follow, just like we saw with EV cars, right? So the cars came first, and then the network and infrastructure kind of came to support it a bit after. So that's something that we're excited to be a part of and kind of pave that kind of landscape.
So I'm curious, you're a CEO in a bit of a disruptive business, and then the business itself is going through a disruption with kind of the advent of kind of these VTOLs and where that might go. So how do you think about leadership in your business and kind of growing from where you are now, continuing to scale, alignment, motivation?
Yeah, I mean, it's what we're doing is, like you said, so different. We're going against the grain of the traditional private aviation industry. And to do it, we need a great team. And so, I was kind of told once, to do great, you need great people to surround yourself with, and actually even better people to surround yourself with. And the team we've built at NectAir is exactly that. And that's really the only way we're able to even do what we do today, let alone get into where we're going. Because, we're multiple businesses. We're, obviously an operations business, taking people where they need to go. And there's a lot that goes into it. From a safety point of view, there's also a ton that we focus on safety. Yeah. It is paramount. It's number one. And then we're also a tech company. So we're building all of our own software, all of our own technology to support our back-end operations, but also going into that front-end user experience. I mean, we're not too far off when you open your phone to the NectAir and kind of book an air taxi, kind of similar like you would book an Uber on your phone.
Yeah.
And that, that's the direction we're going. So to do all of that, it takes a really great team, and we focus on that every day.
If you were flying with NectAir today, where are you going?
Ooh, good question. For fun, I'd love to, maybe go down to the Carolinas, maybe with the golf clubs with some friends, and go for some golfing. If I'm with my family, would love to go to a smaller destination and kind of somewhere a bit more quiet and quaint, just to get away from the noise of it all.
Are you actually a pilot?
No, I'm not a pilot. The more I've learned about aviation and becoming a pilot, I respect the profession so much more. And it makes me realize that the people that we hire, the people that we bring in, that we entrust for the safety of our airline and our passengers is the most important thing. And we put a lot of weight in that and value our pilots incredibly.
And you've got this amazing business, but was there ever a moment where you thought maybe it wasn't going to work?
Yeah, I mean, in the early days when we were going through the regulatory hurdles and process, which are all in place from a safety point of view. So, we're regulated by Transport Canada, the FAA in the US. So there's a lot of steps to become a commercial airline. So during that process, there was definitely, times where we were wondering, is this going to happen? But we've got a great relationship with them. They're there for a good reason, like I said, to keep everyone safe. So, maybe at that point in the early days, a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. And what makes a great operator?
Great operator is putting your clients first. Whether you're operating an airline or you're operating a restaurant, I think if you put your clients first, your clients' needs first, and actually listen and build your solution to that, you're going to succeed, or actually have the best chance of succeeding. You got to do a lot of other good things as well. But if you start with putting your clients first, that's the best way to do it.
So one of the things I always like to ask is, what piece of advice have you received at some point in your life that you think is still relevant for you today?
Ooh, good question. A great piece of advice that, kind of I always follow of is, if you work hard, good things will happen. And there's nothing that we can't do. Yeah, sure, there's challenges and other people tell you can't do it. And that's great, because that means not everyone is doing it. And if we put the work in, do things that people don't want to do, now we're being different and creating value that others are afraid to tackle on.
That's great. Thank you. Really
welcome.
appreciate you joining us.
Thanks for having me today. It's been great to chat with you.
Awesome.